Hi, my name is Tom, and today I'm going to talk to you about the GoGonova Digital Temp Heat Gun. GoGonova reached out to me and they sent me this gun for a review, so I'm going to go ahead and see how it works today. Let's go ahead and open it up and see what you get. First of all, you do get instructions. They are in English and German, and they're pretty basic, but they tell you how to use a heat gun. They kind of tell you the basics of what each setting's for and what all the different pieces are for, so that's good. You get the actual heat gun itself. I've already unwrapped mine and kind of opened it up a little bit. It's got a nice heft to it. It feels good. It's comfortable. We'll talk about this in a moment. You also get 5 nozzles with it. You get 2 heat reducing nozzles. What these do is they kind of reduce the flow of air into a tighter space for very specific types of work. So there's 2. You also get a deflector nozzle. This fits onto the gun and it blows air, and this will deflect the air and shoot it off in a direction. This is good if you're actually heating something up that you can't quite get to. You want to kind of go around an angle, or you can actually use this for pipes. You can warm up pipes and actually thaw ice. If you have frozen pipes, a lot of times you'll put this kind of around a pipe and shoot and kind of move the air around the pipe to help thaw it out. You have a wide nozzle. This is kind of for spraying the air out a little bit, spreading it out. That's good for removing adhesives. You got a charcoal nozzle, and the way this works is you can actually use your heat gun to actually heat up charcoal briquettes or even old burned wood that's actually kind of charcoalized, and you can actually go ahead and start fires with this. You can actually start your fire pit with this, or start a campfire, even a barbecue grill, using the heat gun and this nozzle. So now let's talk about the actual heat gun itself. It is very comfortable. Like I said, it's got some nice heft to it. It's not heavy, but it is solidly built. Obviously, this is metal. The rest of the casing is plastic. That's fine. It feels really good in the hand. Has a 5-foot cord. That's a good start. It could be longer, but that's probably pretty standard for a regular tool. It has a little hook on the handle, which is always appreciated, so you can kind of hang it up. Again, my hands are big. It feels great in the hand. There's a trigger here. This trigger is for off, for low, and for high fan. That kind of helps control, just like a hair dryer you might have. You have off, low, and high again. And in the back, you have the actual digital gauge, and we'll go ahead and we'll play around with that a little bit. But you have 3 buttons. You have a plus and a minus, and then you have an M button for mode, and that kind of steps it up different modes. So I'm going to turn it on and just kind of go over some of the basics here. So again, it's off right now. I'm going to put it into low. That's low. I can talk over it. It has some noise, but it's not too bad at all. Again, like a hair dryer. And you can see the little temperature gauge is now around 600. You can press the plus and the minus. A quick press will go ahead and bump it down by 10. A longer press will actually start going by 50 degrees. Again, it is Fahrenheit on here. I can put it in high mode. It's high mode. So it's in high mode right now, and you can press the M button to kind of click it into certain settings. I believe it's 400, 600, 800, and 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So right now it says 400. I'm going to click it once, and it's now jumping up to 600 in a second there. It's working up to 600. There you go. And I can kind of jump that way. So it's just a nice way to kind of jump around temperatures. Again, 200 degrees at a pop. Now I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to turn it off and watch what happens. I turned it off. It's still running. What it does is it kicks on the fan, and there's no heating element now. It kicks on the fan to go ahead and cool it off a little bit before it shuts down. And it only probably goes for, what, 5-10 seconds at the most. It's now very hot still. I'm not going to touch it. But when I turn it off, it does have an auto shut-off feature where the fan keeps running for a couple seconds just to cool down the heating element so no damage happens. I also want to show you that once you turn it off, it's still very hot. But it is designed, the back is nice and flat, and this little hook thing is also kind of a flat surface. It's designed to rest nicely, and it's actually fairly secure for a tool, but it'll nicely sit there. Now you can go ahead and let it cool without having to worry about this tip accidentally touching something. I'm going to go ahead and try to take this label off with a heat gun. I have a scraper. It comes off a little bit, but it's starting to tear the cardboard a little bit. So I'm going to use my heat gun. I'm going to put it on low. This is only 200 degrees. I'll bump it up a little bit. And actually, look at that. Wow, that's working really well. It is softening the glue just enough to bring the sticker right off. No ripping, no tearing, nice and clean. I can feel the heat. Wow, that's neat. So for this next experiment, I'm going to kind of show you how much it heats up. I'm going to use a little temperature finder here. I'm not even sure how high it goes. Probably won't go as high as the heat gun. But for heat gun, I'm using kind of the mid-range heat reducer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim for this little knot in this piece of 2x4, and I'm going to go ahead and check the temperature. So let's see. Right now, the laser says it's about 65 degrees. The laser's pointing right there, so 66 degrees. Ooh, it's getting warmer. Okay, so while I'm doing that, I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to do that. And you can see it's already getting warmer. So this is 11:10. Now it's going back down. And you can see it singed the wood a little bit. It was hitting about 450 or so in that one spot. And I was holding it about 1.5 inches away. That's how heat guns work. They concentrate a whole bunch of heat into one little spot. They're never going to quite hit the 1300 because you lose heat pushing it out. But you can see that got nice and warm. And right now it is still 200 and some degrees and slowly going down. But you can see how fast that warmed up. This is actually the project that I wanted the heat gun for originally. I'm pulling up my vinyl tiles here from this floor of my basement, and some of these vinyl tiles come up pretty quick, pretty easily. That comes up fairly well. But some of them, but then what happens is they start to crack because the adhesive underneath is stronger than I can actually pry up. That's what happened for this particular tile. I can sit here all day and get a 1/4 inch at a time. There's just a ton of adhesive under this particular piece, and I need to do the whole floor. So that's where this comes in. I can go ahead and basically warm up the tile to the point where the adhesive unsticks or it gets soft and tacky, and then it'll pop right up. So here's my original piece that's kind of stuck here. And I am hitting that hard. It's coming off in tiny little flakes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just warm it up. And that should be all I need. Holy smokes. Wow. It's coming right up. You can actually see the covering shrink under the heat. There we go. And this is on low. On high, it'd probably be a little more efficient. There we go. Cool. It's all sticky. That's amazing. But can it do this? Yeah, it makes popcorn. Pretty good. Needs salt. I've been playing this for about an hour now, doing various projects, and you saw some of them. It works great. It's amazing. I don't understand how I've gone this long without it. This housing never got warm when I was using it. The very tip over here does get a little bit warm. This obviously gets very, very hot, but this itself and the handle never got warm. I felt very safe with it. I did use gloves. I did use eye protection for some of the samples where I was going and just using it as a demo, but it does work very, very well. I feel safe with it. I feel like it's a quality product. If you're a beginner, you're DIY, you just want to kind of reach out and try a heat gun, this is definitely a great model. It has all the cool features, including the little digital thermometer, the hook, the quality cord, the nozzles. Everything's here for it. Really, this is a great heat gun, and I can't recommend it enough.